Evet, merhabalar, hoş geldiniz. Hello everyone and welcome. So our lesson is starting now. Dersimiz şimdi başlıyor. I put the music on a lower volume as much as I could, but if you still don't hear me clearly, feel free to right-click on the bot. It's down in the voice channel and change the volume for yourself. I wanted to keep it in the background because it also it keeps me motivated and in the mood. So it's basically for myself. And I see so many people today. That is great. Bugün çok fazla kişi görüyorum. Daha doğrusu bugün çok kişi görüyorum. Because just like in English, when you say çok fazla, that sounds like more than enough, as if it's a bad thing. But the more the merrier. So çok kişi görüyorum. I see so many people, not too many people. Okay, I am happy to be here with all of you, and I started a stream. Right-click on my name and join the stream. There are now 13 people. 7 people are missing, but I'm sure they can join later. Şu an stream'de 13 kişi var ama umarım o 7 kişi de sonra bize katılır. And thank you Nathan, or I'm glad you like it. Beğenmene ben sevindim. So, let's start our lesson. Hemen dersimize başlayalım. Bugün ne yapacağız? What will we do today? Bugün grammatical noun cases hakkında konuşacağız. Today we will talk about grammatical noun cases. This will not be a detailed lesson on all the agglutination, on all the suffixes. I will skip that part a bit fast. I will still take a look with you, but if you are still completely beginner, you should actually go back to a previous lesson. I mean, not right now, stay in the lesson now, but after the lesson, you should go to the Google Drive link and read up on the basics, especially the vowel harmony and the consonant changes, because you need to know them in order to use these noun cases. And in this lesson, we will actually talk about when to use each case. It will be more practical. There will be more examples that are useful in daily life. And we will actually compare the cases between English and Turkish. That means in Turkish, sometimes things work differently. For example, we start to something, or we hug to something. We use the suffix that will work as to preposition in English. So we will look at these differences. That will be fun. This part will be the most fun of the lesson. And then we can have a practice on the conjugations. I also want to show you what to expect in each of these. This is the overview. There will be a complete list, all of the suffixes, all of the explanations, and what they mean in English. Then the pronoun table, like the bands and all. And we will quickly start with all of the definitions, like why or how they are used. And then, this is the fun part, we will have some example sentences here, and then we will choose if it's dative or accusative. I will give you a verb, then I will ask you if it's dative or accusative. Sometimes you can guess, sometimes you can't. So it will be fun, at least for me. So let's start with this. So in Turkish there are actually 5 basic tenses. This starts with nominative. Nominative is the case that is actually the default. Okay? There's no suffixes. It is just the default without any suffix case. And then accusative, the most problematic out of all the 5 because there's not any direct translation for that. It's more like a concept. It's more like an idea. And dative, that is now easy. Dative is basically to in Turkish. When you do something, or when you go to somewhere, or when you give something to someone, we use this dative case. And then locative, as the name implies, it is about location. Locative, location. When you use in, on, at in English, you use this locative case in Turkish and the necessary suffixes for them. Okay, and then ablative. Ablative is probably the most unknown one, as the name doesn't mean anything. And in Turkish, it sounds like ablative, which means older sister, which is also weird for me. But in simple words, it is the from case, when you do come from somewhere, or, as you will see in a bit, when something is the source of something. So let's see the suffixes. Accusative uses ı, but this doesn't mean there won't be buffers or it won't change. The uppercase letters, actually, they refer to that they are subject to vowel harmony. So this is an uppercase ı, which means it could be ı, i, u, ü. And a, it means two-way, a or e. And then da. It could be da, it could be de, and consonant hardening. It could be ta, it could be te. And then dan. It could be tan, it could be dan, it could be dan, it could be ten. And what do they actually mean? When do we use them? So nominative is used with indefinite objects, such as I am reading a book. Ben kitap okuyorum. Now kitap is the object, but it is indefinite. It's not definite, it's not specific. I am reading a book. But in Turkish we don't always say bir kitap okuyorum. We simply say ben kitap okuyorum. And accusative is like the opposite of nominative. It is the definite object. Actually, it is the direct object, and the direct object can be indefinite or definite. Accusative is when the object is definite. And it is a target and destination. I want you to pay attention to this target because it's not always about a physical movement. You don't have to go from somewhere to another place. Sometimes when the action is targeted at someone, you will still use this a suffix. And then location or possession. Again, I want you to pay attention to the possession because this is weird, but when you say I got the key in Turkish, that would be anahtar bende. We use de suffix. So it is in my possession, or it is on me. Maybe it's in my pocket, maybe it's in my backpack, but it is on me. Anahtar bende, or anything that you have in your possession at the moment. So it is a bit different than saying I have a cat, because that's a general statement. And I got the key, I got the cat. That means you are holding the cat in your hands in this moment. So when we come to talking about possessions, like I have or I got, we will talk about the details and two different things. But for now, you should know you use locative, the da or de suffix, when you say that I got this. I got the key, I got the apple, I got the plates, I got the cat, whatever you have in your possession. And then source or starting point. So source is basic, like when something comes from a source. The keyword here is from. it comes from a source. And starting point is like, I meant actually the physical movement. Like the bus, like starts from point A to go to point B. So point A is the starting point. So you will say A'dan B'ye gidiyorum. Evden okula gidiyorum. From the house to the school. From work to house. İşten okula gidiyorum. Okay, there's always a movement and there's sometimes a source. So now the suffixes, or sorry, the English translations, in case that will help you, like the, to, in, on, at, from. I already explained that, so I will skip that part. But before we skip this last but important note, I can't put every meaning in this table. That's why I only picked the first meanings. The other meanings, the other cases, we will talk about them in a bit. So these only the first meanings. These are only the first meanings. So don't think that ablative is always from. Sometimes it can mean then when you make a comparison. Or sometimes it is of, like I am scared of. Now let's talk about accusative case. And in the beginning of the lesson, I said this won't be a detailed lesson about cases, but still I put the explanations just to give an idea. So the vowel harmony is important about choosing the right suffix. So words with a or u that at the end, or that won't always be correct. Words with a or u in the last syllable. Okay, these are about the last syllable because as you can see in the example, okul, the last letter is an L. So you will look at the last vowel, the last syllable, okul. So we have u. Let's see, after u, we will pick u, okullu. And after e, we have e in as the last one. Actually, that's the only one, but still, evi. After e, you will need e. And again, market. In this one, you have both a and both e. So you will take the last one, marketi. After e, you have e. Pazar. After a, you have u. So this is how you will read this table. And when you are adding or choosing these suffixes, you need to use some buffer letters. And the buffer letter for cases, at least accusative case, unless it's a noun, compound noun, is usually the Y buffer. So bankayı, bankayı. You can't say banka-ı. That won't sound smooth. That won't sound nice. So you need to make it flow. Bankayı and hastaneyi. You need to insert this Y buffer if the word ends in one of these vowels. Like in this part, market, we didn't use a buffer because it ends at T. It's a consonant. You don't need the buffer. Next. Yönelme hali. It has the wrong number. Let's make it 3. And from 3 to 2. 3'ten 2'ye dönüştürelim. Because I counted nominative as the first, but then I forgot to change it. So nominative, and then accusative, and now finally yönelme, which is dative. So even the name, I included the Turkish name because it implies the meaning. Yönelme. Yönelmek is going towards something. Like changing your direction towards something. And that's what it's all about. You do something, like you perform an action towards someone or something. Okay? And the same rules apply here. That's why I will keep it short this time. Like verse with a, o, u, you will need to pick a, and then verse with e, I, ö, ü, you will need to pick e. You can read the examples. Okul, okula, to the school. Ev, eve, to the house. Market, markete, to the market. And same buffer rule. If the word ends with a vowel, like if there's a vowel at the end, instead of saying banka, let me actually just spell it that way, banka. I'm sure you can hear the ridiculous sound, banka gidiyorum. Instead of that, bankaya gidiyorum. Or again here. So where are you going? Nereye gidiyorsun? Hastaneye gidiyorum. It sounds weird. That's why we put this buffer. Hastaneye gidiyorum. It makes the pronunciation and speech better. Okay. Bulunma hali. Location. That is the actually out of all the 5 or 4 cases, location is the most easy because the name implies what it is about, and there are not many different cases to use it. It is mostly about the location and the possession. So verse with a, I, o, u, they use da ending because it's the vowel harmony. After a you will have a. Verse with e, I, ö, ü, you will need de ending. And there will only be one note with this one. This one, fıstıkçı Şahap, ketçap fahişesi, Efe Paşa çok hasta, whatever you want to remember with. F, S, T, K, Ç, Ş, H, P. After these letters, you need to change your da to ta, de to te. Ev, de. In the house, okulda, at the school. İş, te. This one is te. Why? Because there's an eş. İş, te. Bilgisayar, da. On the computer. So it is pretty easy. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I will just skip to the next one as I am explaining. If you have a question and post it in the channel with the command, I can go back to it. Now, ablative case. Again, the same rules, same vowel harmony. A, I, o, u, they use dan. E, I, ö, ü, they use den. But of course, after fıstıkçı Şahap, it is sometimes tan, like dan is sometimes tan, den is sometimes ten. So evden geliyorum. I'm coming from the house. İşten geliyorum. I'm coming from work. Ah, wait, there's a typo. Not Nilgisayar, but Bilgisayar. Nil is a female name, so Nilgisayar sounds funny. Nilgisayar, nice. From the computer, that's what I was talking about in locative. Sometimes, even in English, you say you are doing something on the computer or on the internet. Sometimes we use dative. Like, I am typing from the computer. I am typing on the computer değil. I'm typing from the computer. Bilgisayardan yazıyorum. Like when you're texting with someone, you want to let them know which app, which device you are using. Instead of saying I am typing on the phone, on my phone, I am typing on my computer, we use dative. Sorry, we use ablative, not dative. I'm typing from my computer. I'm typing from my phone. So this could be an example about the differences between Turkish and English. We type from a device. I appreciate that. I appreciate all of you joining the lessons regularly. you know, your participation, your interest is the only thing that keeps me motivated to do events through the whole week. So as long as you want lessons, I will be willing to do them. And kendinize iyi bakın.